Yes, I. Thanks for tuning in again. You are now in tune on the Wonder Force itself at this time. Give thanks. The concept of what we call God today originated from observation and our ancient ancestors and indigenous people observing nature. Let me explain this. Before modern day religion and these modern day spiritual practices, indigenous people observed the stars. They observed the streams, the lakes, the rivers, the oceans. They observed the trees, the birds, the animals, the insects. And from this observation, they jotted down the connection between the divine and nature and how the divine works through nature and how you can utilize the divine through nature. See, from these observations, our ancient ones would create folklore and myth based upon the mythos and based upon nature. So they would either personify celestial bodies or nature forces, and they would make these personifications people or women or men or children, and these personifications of these celestial bodies became the characters within the stories of their culture. Now, why is this? Our ancestors created stories for us to read as a child in one way, as a teenager in one way, as a young adult in their 20s is one way, in their 30s is another way. And as you keep going through the degrees of life, you can read the same story that you was reading when you were 7 and see it in a totally different light. Just like you can watch the same episode of a cartoon now and see it in a different light than you did when you were a child and you watched the same cartoon. You will see all the hidden subliminals and all that other good stuff. So as you go through the natural degrees of life, you can look at the same story one way, and as your perception changes and you gain more wisdom and insight, you can still see that same story and apply the story to life and how it works in the now, not in the past. See? Now, from this observation of nature, this gave birth to our modern day different schools of thoughts, spiritual practices, religion, and also today's dogma as well, from us coming out of the age of Pisces, which is dealing more with belief. That's why the catchphrase for Pisces is I believe. So we're coming out of a I believe dogmatic type of age into this. Obviously, you can see this is a new age, whatever you want to call it. Aquarius is also a weird age too, because when I look around, things are kind of weird. And this is coming from a stone cold weirdo. But anyway, I know you like, who are you? This guy's really weird. What the hell is he into? Now, let me tell you something. From the observation of nature gave rise to what we call today God. Now, we can go hours into hours breaking down the historical origins of every fucking religion on the planet. We're not going to do that. I just wanted to give you a backdrop. And like we say, Christadelphia, Be a free thinker. Don't think like nobody. Question everything. Question everyone. Question yourself. Erykah Badu said, a man who knows something knows he knows nothing at all. So I'm constantly awakening to a new awakening. You know what I'm saying? So here at the center of this yoni, I have amethyst tip. We're dealing with the purple light today. I know y'all hear a lot about the green light. So the purple light is dealing with your higher chakra, your most high of your chakras. Is not the crown, but in your physical body it is. You do have other energy centers outside of your physical body. But anyway, get in tune with your purple light. Cleanse it. Clear it. Get rid of disagreeable emotions and negative emotions attached to you and your aura field so that you can stay aligned with the divine. See? Now, you might see a lot of Rastas throwing up this symbol. You might see a lot of people throwing up this symbol at this time. His Imperial Majesty gave us signs and symbols. Depending on which degree that you're coming from, you will be able to decode this sign and symbol. And as you go through the different schools of thoughts seeking, you will see the signs and symbols all adding up to the same thing. Sacred geometry, the sacred womb. You will find this hidden within all schools of thoughts and maybe sometimes not even hidden. Maybe right in front of your face. So the womb, or the concept of seeing the womb of the great mother, or the divine mother, Mama Amatu, Mama Ama, whoever, Nuwa, whatever, or you call on the great mother of mothers, the great Omega, seen, like I said so many times previously before, but for those who haven't heard, all of the prophets, saints, sages, priests, all of the male deities all come from the womb of the mother. So the womb of the mother is the source from which all the prophets come from. We can get into a lot of debate over ideology and belief systems and cosmologies. But if you seek deep enough, you will find that hidden aspect of the mother within inside of your own school of thought. Whether you come from Islam or whatever the case may be. Don't believe me? Check it for yourself. And this is what has been kept away from us long time, because they must use this against us. This is what they use against you, my brother. You can't deny it. So they use the woman and the energy of the goddess in a reverse way to keep us down pressed, seeing Rasta. So they have the woman standing on her head. I'm not saying this is what this symbol means. This is just me using this symbol far as the Eastern Star symbol, which is the woman's order of Freemasonry. If that supposedly represents the woman, why is the star upside down? So, why is that woman's order of masonry? Why does the star have her head upside down if that star does represent that woman? See, and like Elijah Muhammad said, no nation can rise greater than this woman. So why is she standing on her head? So, Rasta, our job is to turn a 6 into a 9. Indeed, because the 6 and the 9 is the same sigil. You already know. So, we must go back to the root. For all of those who keep talking about the root. Well, this is the root. This is the root. We observe this and seeing it divine. We've seen that creation comes from this, from the observation of nature. So, when will we go back to the observation aspect? And that's when you become a free thinker. When you are able to go out into nature and observe. See? You can go to nature, connect with nature, observe, and jot down your own notes. And maybe 25,000 years from now, people will be saying, these are the notes from some sage, and, whatever. I'm not going to get into that. I'm getting off topic. But I am here to say that man is Rasta and Rasta is man. And at this time, you see everybody wearing locks. Everybody's locked up. At one time, wearing locks used to be more of a cultural thing. Now it's not a cultural thing. It's just a fad that's in, and everybody wants to wear locks at this time. So, the image of man at this time looks pretty Rasta to me, because every brother I see looks like a Rasta man. See? So when I walk around my city, even when I travel out of the city, and I see how everyone has embraced this lock culture and this natural hair culture at this time, it shows me that the image of man at this time is Rasta, because man is Rasta and Rasta is man. Now here's the thing. We can go deep into the rabbit hole of esoteric enlightenment on the subject matter of Rastafari. But at its simplest form, man is Rasta and Rasta is man. So you don't have to be aware at all to be a Rasta. Don't even have to be conscious. And the greatest, actual proof of Rastafari is the fact that every man you see nowadays look Rasta. Because, I'm not saying that the Rastafari vibration or the Rastafari movement were the first to wear locks in their hair, but they were the first movement to bring that lock culture back, a culture that already exists, because man is Rasta and Rasta is man. Way before Haile Selassie, there was Rastafari. See? So, you are down in tune on the one, the force itself at this time.